Hello students, this is MD Rizwan. I am faculty for Geography Optional and General Studies. Today we are going to discuss one of the important topics of Geography Optional, that is Section B, Human Geography, Chapter number 6, Perspectives in Human Geography. So in perspectives we know that there are approaches that has defined geography as a discipline and contributed to the evolution of the subject. So one of the important perspective that has developed in 1950s and 1960s was radicalism. So we'll discuss today about what was a radical approach or what is radical geography. Now to begin with, what is radicalism? The emergence of radicalism was from Marxist geographer. So we are having here Marxist philosophy influencing geography, and there are two group of geographers in Marxism. One is radical Marxist and another is liberal Marxist. So what was radical Marxist geographer? These were the geographers who stick to the basic principles of Marxism. They were more rigid, we can say they were more hard tone in their approach. While in case of liberal, we can see a kind of flexibility in their approach. Now, what was a radicalism? So here we can see that radicalism emerged as a reaction to quantitative revolution. So this is QR. QR is a quantitative revolution, and we know the period of quantitative revolution was around 1930 to 1919. You can say roughly 1950. This is considered as the period of quantitative revolution, where geography made a considerable evolution in terms of its methodological approaches. So here we can see that QR was considered as a paradigm shift in geography, wherein geography tried to become a more scientific discipline. So here we can see that geography is emerging as a scientific discipline. And what was the outcome of QR? What was the outcome of quantitative revolution? It was like models, theories, principles, laws which were universally applicable. So the objective of QR was to make geographical studies more nomothetic. It is considered as a transition from ideographic to nomothetic. What is nomothetic? Nomothetic means generalization. Nomothetic means which can be universally applied. So whatever was developed as a part of QR, these were a general principle. These were the models that can be used for the study of human landscape, and these principles are universally applicable. But with quantitative revolution, there was a dissatisfaction with the models and theories, and it was considered that the spatial location theories are not sufficient in describing the dynamics of human landscape, in the sense that human landscapes, which are more an outcome of man's interaction with the environment, they cannot be described on the basis of a scientific principle, or they cannot be described on the basis of positivism and logical rationality. So most of the geographers, they started feeling that you cannot treat geography like a physical sciences. You cannot apply the principles of physics in as it is in geographical studies. The study of geographical landscape and human landscape has to be more with its real conditions. So we find here that there is an emergence of a new school of thought criticizing quantitative revolution. So I hope you are able to understand this. What was QR? The quantitative revolution tried to convert geography into a science, and in the process it created models and theories and general principles which can be universally applied. They were more a predictive models to get a predictable outcome. criticizing the quantitative revolution, there was another school of thought that is known as critical revolution. And this critical revolution was against these theories. The critical revolution was against the principles of QR. So what are the geographers doing in case of critical revolution? They said that the spatial location theories that were developed as a part of QR were not sufficient in describing the human landscape. The real condition of human landscape cannot be described on the basis of quantification that was used and the methods and techniques that were used in QR. So there should be some alternatives. There should be some alternative approach to the quantitative revolution, and that led to several new approaches. So here we are having behavioralism, humanism, radicalism and welfare. These are the four important approaches that have grown as a part of critical revolution. So in this session we are discussing what was radical. So growth of radicalism was a part of critical revolution, and it was basically the foundation of radicalism was led by Marxist geographer, those who believed in the philosophy of Marx. Now in this also there are two groups in Marxist geographer. One is radical Marx. These are, we can say that, more rigid geographers. These are the people who are sticking to the basic tenets of Marxism. They believed that inequalities are the product of economic structures. Social disparities are the product of the policies of the government. And there is another, a liberal geographers, liberal Marxist we say. These liberal Marxists are slightly more flexible. They believed in democracy, they believed in democratic institutions, and they attempted to provide solutions that how we can change these institutions in order to become more people-centric, how the democracy can be made more people-centric and more participative. This is known as liberal Marxist. So what is the outcome of liberal Marxism? We can see that this led to another approach. This is known as welfareism. And what is radical Marxist resulting in? Radical Marxist, this resulted in the approach of radicalism. So this is radicalism. So what you are writing in your answer when you begin, here we can say that radicalism was a part of critical revolution and it was based on the Marxist philosophy. We can see the influence of Marxist ideology on the growth of radicalism. Further, this growth we can see around 1960s. And what were certain events that led to the growth of radicalism? It was something like discrimination that has persisted in America, particularly the discrimination on the basis of race. So racial discrimination, prevailing inequalities in the societies. We can see here that growth of poverty, the rising incidence of the poverty. Then so first is racial discrimination, inequality, the failure of the state, and then further we can see Vietnam War. United States of America now engaging itself in war with Vietnam, that is in Malayan Peninsula. So more or less here all these scenarios indicated that the state has failed in order to provide the social security to its people, and the capitalist form of government which is prevailing in developed countries like America was not successful in taking care of its people. So now the next question that was that what geography should do. So should geography be only concerned about the theoretical studies of the landscape, or geography should go one step ahead and also look at this problem. Therefore, we are saying that radicalism has played a very important role in opening up new dimensions in human geography. So we can see after the contribution of radicalism, there was growth of geography of poverty, geography of inequality, geography of disparities, geography of regional imbalances. So these are the new dimensions that we see in the subject. This was because of radicalism. So what is radical geographer doing? Radical geographer, he said that geography is not only about studying the landscape, it is also about understanding the human problems and also trying to find out and propose the solution to this problem. So making geography problem and solution oriented, this was one of the important contributions of radical geographers. And what this radicalism did is, they said that we have to revive the superstructure, we have to change the superstructure of the governance itself and replace it by something more participative and true in democratic format. So here we are trying to say that radicalism was against the popular form of the government. It rejected the institutions of democracy, saying that these democratic institutions, they are not pro people. These democratic institutions are more oriented towards capitalism. The democracy is favoring rich, and they also believe that the democratic institutions do not take care of the poor. So we can see that the state has failed. State has failed to take care of its people. This was one of the major highlights by radical geographer, and they said that geography now should involve in policy making. Geography should be a subject where the geographical knowledge has to be used in order to address the problems faced by the society. And but with certain limitations of radicalism, it was not very successful because radicalism did not provide a methodological framework how it can be implemented. We can see that welfarism was a better approach because welfarism said that it is a state and it is a democracy that should be used in order to address the issues faced by the human societies. So this is just an introduction of how the radicalism as a perspective has grown. We will be again discussing in detail about the analysis of radicalism in class. So meet you in class. Thank you.